She was a gorgeous 19-year-old temptress from a wealthy family. But fate led the troubled Ohio runaway to a life of stripping and hooking on the seediest corners of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Tangled up with a pimp street clown boyfriend twice her age.
She saw Ron as her protector. She's a very smart person, so she looked for someone who could protect her and that she could kind of order around.
Lila Mulla was the last person to see missing businessman Gary Kergan, owner of a Sonic Burger franchise empire, and one of her regular clients. Blood was found in Gary's car and in the house Lila shared with Ronald Dunnigan. Now the dubious duo is on the run.
They're gone.
Oh yeah, they're gone.
And something else that would later prove to be significant.
One of the neighbors said that they gave them some hamster cages.
Picture the Bonnie and Clyde of Baton Rouge with all the ruthlessness and none of the cachet. The two got out of Dodge in Dunnigan's old blue Dart. Destination, Sin City.
They reappear.
Lila decides to go and get an escort license in Vegas. And she goes into the sheriff's department to get this license.
It turns out Lady Luck didn't welcome them with open arms. It was more like cuffed wrists.
The police in Baton Rouge have put a warrant out for a material witness for a missing person.
What a stroke of luck that she goes to sign up for this license and
She goes to the police. You know, she comes, I mean, she literally walks right into our arms.
Vegas cops detain Lila, but here's where it gets tricky. Dunnigan is hanging around the sheriff's station thinking Lila's still working on the escort license. Vegas police have no legitimate reason to hold him.
No one had seen Dunnigan with Gary, so there's no chance of hooking him up to the material witness.
Turns out Dunnigan had a bench warrant for non-payment of a traffic ticket.
Vegas police are very much, you know, I don't think we can hold a guy on a parking ticket.
But Vegas cops said they'd do their best while Louisiana detectives strategized.
The police come to me and they asked me if I knew anybody in the travel business, and I said, yeah, we got to get there. They said, yeah. And I said, fine.
There isn't a second to waste. It's Ted to the rescue. He hires a private Learjet.
I put it on my American Express card.
And y'all flew to Las Vegas.
And we all flew to Las Vegas.
Detectives raced to the Vegas interrogation room on a mission to get Lila to talk and talk fast. She spills all right, pointing the finger at her drifter boyfriend, Ron Dunnigan.
She said Dunnigan killed Gary by accident. He said, did Gary deserve to die? And she said no.
Was that considered a confession on her part?
Yeah, the police definitely considered that a confession.
While cops search the couple's Vegas apartment, Ted comes along and waits in the kitchen. And it turns out that's where the investigation into the brothers' disappearance is really heating up.
Literally, I'm opening up kitchen drawers and I pull out a notebook and a diary.
Ted's about to stumble upon some horrifying entries in that diary, which belongs to Lila.
I get to a point in the diary close to when Gary disappeared where she says, hit Gary next time, Ron will hide in the closet, that good man.
When you read that, did you feel ill or did you feel like, oh my God, I have them?
My blood just went cold. And I turned to the Baton Rouge detective and I said, I think maybe you need to read this. And they read that and they said, we got him. It's premeditated. They had it planned.
Police bring Dunnigan and Lila back to Baton Rouge, and the district attorney's office at the time is ready to pounce.
It's circumstantial evidence, but we have plenty of circumstantial evidence. We have the people, we have the blood in the part, we have blood in the trunk of the car. We have a diary, for God's sakes.
But when a new DA named Brian Bush took over, police and prosecutors were forced to close the murder book on the case.
Brian said, oh, we don't have a body, we're going to let them out. Just like that. In an hour, I went from, we're absolutely going to convict them, we have them, we have the diary, we have everything we need, to, oh, never mind, we're just going to let them out.
Former Assistant Prosecutor Prem Burns was assigned to the case back in 1984.
Rather than bringing the case to trial and having no evidence.
She knew then it would have been a gamble.
We had never tried a case without a body. At that point in time, very few jurisdictions ever tried a case without a body.
And at the time, DNA testing didn't exist.
Not only was there no body, there was blood in the back of a car that today could have been subject to DNA testing.
But the biggest hurdle was Lila, who was charged as an accessory. She was clever enough to know that without her, the murder charge against Dunnigan wouldn't hold up.
The woman was refusing to testify against him and had been offered basically a walk, immunity from prosecution were she to testify. She absolutely refused.
Ronald Dunnigan walked out of the parish jail a free man.
These are the images that crushed Ted Kergan nearly 3 decades ago. The anguished brother of missing Gary Kergan didn't keep his dismay to himself.
It appears to me that the DA has placed the rights of the accused over the rights of the victims.
You must have been so deflated, so defeated.
No, I went into a panic. It wasn't defeat, it was shock. I was absolutely went into shock.
You met Gary at the club.
Met him a few times at the club. Dunnigan was always talking about, getting someone further money.